You were supposed to fold. You were supposed to break and stay broken. They did everything they could to make that happen. They whispered lies in rooms you weren't invited to, started fires, and then blamed you for the smoke, made you the villain in stories you never even got to speak in. They painted your light as delusion, your clarity as confusion, your mission as madness. All because you didn't blend in, because you wouldn't bow, because your soul couldn't be bribed. They lied on your name, tried to smear you in the dark when you weren't there to defend yourself, gaslit you till you questioned your own reflection, made you feel crazy for seeing what you actually saw. And when that didn't work, they tried silence, cold shoulders, social exile, treated your awakening like it was a disease, like your truth was poison when it was actually medicine. You weren't just abandoned, you were cast out, treated like a problem. All because you stood on something real. Not for clout, not for attention, but because your spirit demanded it. Because even when it cost you comfort, you chose truth over fitting in, purpose over pretending. But you didn't fold, even when it felt like you had nobody. Even when your chest was tight, your eyes were tired, and the silence felt like death. You kept showing up for people who didn't show up for you. Kept pouring from empty cups, kept hoping your efforts would speak louder than their lies. You kept showing up even when the mirror stared back at you with nothing but survival in its eyes. You were making something out of nothing. Feeding your kids with a smile when your own stomach was growling. Sleeping in a car and still waking up with vision. Eating ramen noodles to make the money stretch. Walking into jobs beneath your calling just to make sure the light stayed on. And yet, you kept your head high. You kept your hands clean. You kept your heart open. That's not just resilience. That's divine assignment level faith. You didn't fold. You didn't beg. You didn't sell your soul. You stood tall when everything was trying to pull you low. You carried grief and hope in the same breath. You mourned in motion. You healed in public. And still, you stayed rooted in what you knew was true. They thought the pressure would crush you, but pressure just exposed your blueprint. You're built different, always have been. You don't run from fire. You walk through it. You don't retreat when it's dark. You become the light. You carry storms in your spirit and still bring peace to the room. You are the calm in the quake. What was meant to be your grave turned into your gym. You don't just survive, you reforge. You turn betrayals into boundaries, wounds into weapons, loss into language. You alchemized everything they threw at you and used it to build your next self. You still walk with honor, still move with intention, still speak truth, even when your voice and hands tremble. You don't speak to be liked. You speak because lies are no longer welcome in your reality. You never stop believing in what you came here to do, not even when the world laughed, doubted, or went silent on you. And that right there, that's not just strength. That's spiritual mastery. That's cosmic defiance. That's a legacy in motion. You walk like someone who has already seen the ending. Because deep down, you have. You're the one that got away from their trap, the glitch in their matrix, the soul they couldn't clone, the fire they couldn't dim. They couldn't predict you, couldn't decode you, couldn't stop you, so they tried to convince you to stop yourself. But you didn't. You kept building, even when nobody was clapping. Kept rising, even when no one believed you would. You might be tired, you might be stretched thin, but you're still standing. And that matters more than you know. Because every day you stay true, you weaken the lie. You shake the illusion. You break the spell they tried to cast on the world. So now it's time. Not to survive, but to build, to plant, to lead. You're not just a survivor of the system. You're the architect of something it can't touch. Something it fears. Something it knows is coming. Because they threw dirt on you and didn't realize you were a seed. They thought they were ending you, but they were actually crowning you. Every loss, an initiation. Every betrayal, a promotion. Every silence, a sharpening. Keep going. Keep building. Let the blood, sweat, and tears continue to fall if they must. But keep moving like the throne was always yours. Because it is. And they know it. That's why they tried to break you. You don't break. You become. And if they thought you were dangerous before, wait till they see you now. Nothing can stop your destiny. Stay free.